Thank you so much, Alex, for the introduction. My name is Heang Chhor. I'm the founder and managing partner of Qualgro, a venture capital company based in Singapore, investing in Southeast Asia. It is my privilege today to have a conversation with Winnie. Winnie has been the co-founder and the COO of Appier, a great AI company that went IPO early this year. Well done, Winnie, again for this IPO. What a milestone for your company. Winnie and I are going to talk a little bit about the culture that Appier has put in place over the years in order to shape a winning formula for the company in its sector in Asia and well beyond. Winnie, great to have you and to see you again, as always.
Thank you, Hyun, so much for the kind introduction. Thank you very much.
Winnie, since day one, I still remember when we met about 5 years ago. And since then, we have had the privilege to support Appier over its journey. You have always mentioned to me that Appier has a great product, has a great business model, but also very, very importantly, it has a culture that is quite unique. That culture that you guys implemented since day one is articulated around three themes. One is ambition, the second one is direct communication, and the third one is open mindedness. Can you please tell us a little bit about what it means and tell all the other founders that are so keen to learning from you how to shape a winning culture?
Definitely. So I think when thinking about how to build the right culture for the company, there are obviously a lot of things to take into consideration. And the reason why we chose, like direct, open, and ambitious to be the core values of the culture that, that we embrace here at Appier is really because, from day one, when we first founded this company, the true motivation that we had back then was actually to use AI to make people's life easier and happier. And because of this, aspiration that we had, so and that translate into today, the B2B space that we operate in. Actually, we're trying to build, I would say, products or technologies that can actually enable business with artificial intelligence, so they can actually utilize their own data better, and thus, grow and succeed based on data-driven decisions. And in order to achieve this, actually, it requires constant innovation of the company. So in order to drive and I would say sustain the innovation ability within the company at Appier, we have to actually think about how to build a culture that will not only support, but actually drive this continuous innovation. And that's the reason why we come up with these three important elements for us. And I think, being ambitious is quite obvious. I mean, you need to be ambitious because we are a team, our R&D is based in Taipei, and we started our operation in Asia. But our ambition is not to just serve the customers within Asia Pacific region. We actually want to go beyond. And, starting last year, we actually also expanding into, Europe and in the US as well. And we're seeing some good initial traction, and hopefully, we will be able to gradually support all the customers across the globe. So being ambitious is important. You want to build a product that can actually, I would say, help and create significant impact in the real world. And that's what we always wanted to do. So being ambitious is very, very important. And I think all the colleagues who join us have this kind of characteristics, wanting to achieve, and wanted to, I would say, pursue excellence and try to, be a better self. And together we want to be a better organization every day. So that's where the ambition is coming from. And, and then coming back to direct and open-mindedness, these two things are actually super critical for us, because being direct allows us to actually be able to communicate your true ideas and thoughts directly with each other. And in this way, we're able to, be a very efficient and effective team continuously. And also, being direct, there's a good, I would say, benefit to it, is that you are more easily to build trust across teams within the company. Because I think, as Yang might be aware of, we are actually operating in 17 offices across all the globe right now. And in order to reach this, I would say, trust level that you can operate smoothly and efficiently. Actually, being direct is probably the best way. There's no shortcut to it. I think being direct to each other, so people always, whoever you talk to, you will trust whatever the information they share with you are truthful. So there's no room that you need to be guessing around, because the chance that you can guess it right is actually pretty low. So I think, being direct is super important. Secondly, being open-minded is probably, I would say, the most critical part to allow us to build continuous innovation. Because, obviously, innovation can, at least I cannot imagine innovation can come out from a place that is so narrow-minded mindset. So I think that's the reason why, we chose these three elements to be the most important, I would say, core values that we embrace at Appier.
Winnie, thank you very much. Those three attributes really speak to us as we observe how companies have evolved from seed stage to Series A to Series B and to IPO. Culture is absolutely very important. Most of the founders among the audience, I believe, would ask themselves, yeah, I understand the concept, but how do you practically put in place such a culture? What does it mean in terms of daily behavior? What do you tell to people to change, to adopt in terms of new behavior?
Yeah, definitely. So, like creating a culture isn't about something that you say only. Like, of course, saying it and communicating it out is very important. But even more importantly is how you do it. And you have to really believe in it yourself and actually put into actions so people see it. Like all of your colleagues, the entire team sees the same way that you operate. So that has to be consistent. It's not just about what you say, but also more importantly, what you do in a day-to-day basis. So I would say, like talking about direct, I myself, I think Heang has known us for a long time. Chihan, myself, Chihan's our CTO, and our CTO Joe, and myself, we are all scientists by training. So we are actually, I would say, very logical people, and we try to be as direct as possible, of course, in a way that people can perceive it well. But I think being able to share your true opinions and encourage people to also speak up about their true opinions are actually very, very important. So it's critical for an organization to actually create, I would say, an environment where you encourage people to express their true thoughts. And this way, you will be able to I would say you'll be able to bring more, creative new ideas a lot of times, and the company can benefit from it. So like this kind of environment creation is important. And like for example, myself, like and I think people who have joined meeting with me, people can see directly that how straightforward we are. So when we ask a question, there's no agenda behind. It's just really the question that we're asking, and we're trying to brainstorm together to come up with the best solution possible. So that's how we practice being direct here, but also for open-minded mindset. I think that's something that we also encourage people to practice as well, because in a meeting, because at Appier, there's one thing that I haven't touched upon, is that we actually try to build a very diversified team here. So in order to build a very diversified team, you need to create a culture where all the opinions are received well. So you can't just select, what you want to listen to. So you need to be able to be open-minded and, listen to what other people have to say. And a lot of time, if you can be open-minded enough, then you can learn a lot from each other, because, everyone speaks from their past experience, right? And a lot of those experiences don't come for free, right? They spend, your colleagues might spend tens of years on certain things, and now just by having a conversation with them, you are able to learn from them as long as you are open-minded enough. So that's, I think, an important part in our culture, and that's the reason why earlier I mentioned being able to keep this open-minded mindset within the company will allow us to build continuous innovation. So that's super critical, I think, from my perspective. So in all the meetings, like when other colleagues say something, we try not to just cut them off, right? So you try to listen to what they have to say this, and maybe, ask follow-up questions, because, we might be curious because you have never thought about this, perspective. Yeah, so that's what we do here in general. Yeah.
Indeed, I myself could witness how incredibly open-minded you guys are. At one point in time, year 2 or year 3, after our investment, I still remember that Kihan and his engineering team came to us and asked our point of view about one of your products targeting enterprise, to ask us what we think about the product. And you guys are the AI expert and we are just investors. Of course, we know a little bit the enterprise world. It was very positive interaction for us. We really were impressed by how much you took into account our very candid comments on the product. So well done, and please keep this amazing open-mindedness. Winnie, I just wanted also to relate to the scale that Appier has now achieved. You are operating across 17 countries. There are more than 500 employees at Appier now. How do you keep this culture alive and keep improving it on a daily basis across so many geographies, so many cultures, so many languages, and so many time zones? How do you do that?
So there's actually no secret to it, no shortcut either. So it's all about communications. So, as you noticed, that we actually operate in, so many countries now, and we have a lot of colleagues coming from, so many different backgrounds and nationalities and cultures. So, everyone have different, I would say, background that lead to different type of thoughts sometimes, even toward the same goal or the same consensus that we have reached. So I think it's very important that we not only create, I would say, we continue to communicate, with everyone. And of course, there are different ways of, doing these type of communication, because there's, I would say, you can't do enough communication in general for these kind of situations. And in order to run the international operations smoothly, I think, each country's alignment is important, but also at the same time, we have a lot of different product lines and also, different functions within the company. So the alignment across functions and product lines are also important. So I think what we normally do, maybe let me break it down in a few different ways, like the tactics that we have been using, and hopefully it could be helpful to other founders out there as well. So we actually we have like a goal setting a system within our company that we do quarterly goal setting together, and Chihan himself as a CEO, he will set his goal first, and then he will share his goal openly to everyone, as well as like the department leads, whoever reporting to him. And then like all of us who reported to Chihan will, based on his goal, and actually from our perspective, what we can actually contribute to achieving those goals, set our own goals, and then that will go down, to everyone within the company. And Chihan made it transparent to everyone as well about his goals, and all of us as well. So that's number one. But also at the same time, in terms of the culture perspective, I think we actually try to run a lot of different activities regularly, and sometimes it's like I would say in a more ad hoc but fun way. So we do have regular like we call it global meeting. So it's actually an all hands meeting across all the countries. Of course, it's done online nowadays, and so we do that on quarterly basis. And also like we will have let's say like happier hour. We call it happier hour. So it's not happy hour because we are happier, so we want everyone to be happier. So we call it happier hour. We do it every Friday, and that is like a very fun program. So basically, we have newcomers introduction there, and we have some anniversary celebration there for colleagues who have joined us for a certain period of time. And we also have different type of topics. Sometimes it's fireside chat with certain people that most of the colleagues wanted to know more about, or sometimes we have because we have a lot of very talented colleagues. So some of the colleagues can be sharing their expertise outside of work. So it could be very fun events for everyone to just know a little more about your colleagues and the team that you're working with from a different perspective. So that type of things also exists, and we have like different team building events from time to time across different regions as well. And yeah, so we try to do as much as we could, formally and informally, so people actually feel bounded. And like as I said, a lot of things, cultural things, can only be achieved by the way you operate, not just by the things that you say. Yeah.
We can feel through your comments the energy, the dynamic momentum inside Appier's organization. Again, well done for building such a great and winning culture.
Thank you.
One word on the current COVID context. We all know that it has been a little bit stressful for many of us around the world. How has it potentially impacted, if anything, Appier's way of operating in the past 1 month?
Yeah, so I guess the past 1.5 years probably is pretty tough for most of the human beings out there. And I think luckily, as a company, our business nature allow us to actually work remotely. So from business perspective, good that, our company has been very adaptive. So I would say business-wise, we're less impacted in a way comparing to a lot of, other companies out there. However, I think in terms of the way we operate, I guess we have no choice. In the past, 1.5 years, there are a lot of, different COVID situations in countries that we have operation in, from time to time, and nowadays, like at the time that we were having this conversation, I think almost all the countries are still in I would say in a mode that we have to work remotely and collaborate remotely. So as a company, I think we are able to adapt well, and as I said, we have the fortune to actually work from home for most of our colleagues. So safety wise it's good, but also we have been thinking like going forward in a longer term, what would be the best way to collaborate going forward, because like during this time of working from home period, there are obvious, I would say, pros and cons tied to the current way of operation. So it is good that we have flexibility and sometimes time that are saved to do more important work from commuting. However, at the same time, there are certain roles that certain functions that actually could benefit a little more if you have some more in-person interaction that could actually stimulate certain creativity spontaneously. So we see the benefits and the weakness of different approaches. So we have been considering maybe like some kind of hybrid model going forward, but like we don't have a fixed idea yet. As a company, I think we'll just continue to do what we are good at, which is be flexible and adaptive. So we will learn continuously and see what's the best for our colleagues and our customers in the future. Yeah.
I'm very confident, having been one of your supporters over the past 5 years, that Appier and its management team will continue to adapt itself very well to the COVID environment, but also to new environments and to new challenges. Well done on your trajectory. Maybe as a closing comment, Winnie, what would be the one word or the one emoji potentially that would best describe Appier?
This is a tough one. So if I have to choose an emoji, maybe I would choose two probably. So one is probably the rainbow sign. because like I think as a company, as I had mentioned earlier, we try to build a very diversified team. We embrace diversity here. So and like we are a happy team in general. So that's the number one emoji I will pick. And the second one I probably will pick the one I don't know how to describe it. It's like the smelly face with sunglasses on. So I think we have a bunch of very energetic and happy people here. Very smart, of course, very hardworking, very dedicated, and we are building cool stuff here. So in a happy way. So I think hopefully this will kind of explains who we are. Yeah.
That's fantastic. We are all happy. We are all Appier. Well done, Winnie, and well done, the Appier team. Thank you so much for this conversation. And thank you for SaaStock for inviting us and giving us this opportunity.
Thank you.